Hello there, thanks for joining us on Lina TV News. My name is Salim Moses Alkali. The headlines. Niger State Governor seeks intervention in developing BARO port and others. Niger State House of Assembly invites regional manager to appear before plenary. A Kaduna-based Islamic cleric seeks permission to meet bandits. Sokoto State Government earmarks 6.7 billion naira for Ramadan feeding. And now the news in details. Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago has called on the federal government to support the development of BARO Port, the Kainji Lake National Park, and dry inland port terminals at Bidda, Mokwa, Babana, and Suleja communities of the state. He added that doing so would accelerate growth and prosperity for all. On the remodeled and upgraded Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Airport Mina, Governor Bago said the airport has hitherto been in a state of comatose with failed runway, dilapidated terminal, absence of fire and safety equipment, and runway lighting system, among others. He, however, applauded the support of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) for providing quality gardens for the intervention and rehabilitation of the airport to a global standard. Former Governor Bago appreciated the President for approving this airport as a special agro-processing free zone for greenhouses, dairy and meat processing, and agro-processing storage, aggregation, and other value chain development components. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kari, said Governor Umaru Bago has keyed into the President exemplifying champion spirit for sustainable agricultural development. The minister recounted the efforts of the federal government towards the realization of food security in the country, adding that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is conversing partnerships with both governments and all the ministries, departments and agencies, as well as relevant institutions to achieve the GB desired objectives. In their separate goodwill messages, the Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, his Lagos and Benue State counterparts Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Hyacinth Alia, the former Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, commended Bago for the feat attained in agriculture, adding that with such level of commitment and others borrowing a leaf from it, the food security agenda of the federal government would be achieved. The Etsunupe and Chairman Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Alhaji Yahaya Abubakar, appreciated the President and other guests for visiting and identifying with the laudable efforts of the state government. The Governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Usman Ododo, former governors of Niger State, serving and former lawmakers both at the federal and state levels, members of the State Executive Council, APC leaders, both at the national and state levels, religious and traditional leaders, and other top government functionaries were present at the event. Niger State House of Assembly has summoned the regional manager of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, to appear before it. This was sequel to a motion sponsored by Honorable Engineer Mohammed Alhaji Haruna, member representing Bidda constituency, at today's plenary of the House. While presenting this motion, Honorable Haruna informed his colleagues that AEDC, as the sole distributor of electricity in most parts of Niger State, power supply in recent times across the state has been very poor and erratic. He added that many areas hardly get power supply and that only those on 33 kVA enjoy the service, a situation he described as unfortunately because this has affected a lot of business activities, as most of them rely on electricity supply in order to function, lack of which has caused many to fold up because they can't afford to fuel generators as alternative. Engineer Mohammed Alhaji Haruna also disclosed that this has caused water scarcity in the state, leaving residents plans to buy water from vendors at exorbitant prices without being sure of the sources. At the end of the presentation and deliberations, the House unanimously adopted the prayers of the motion by inviting the regional manager of AEDC to appear at the plenary of the House next week. Niger State House of Assembly again has moved a motion calling on the executive arm of the state government to commence implementation of the 2022 harmonized retirement age for teachers in the state. The motion was moved by member representing Tafa constituency, Honorable Muhammad Sani Idris, at today's plenary. He noted that a new and harmonized retirement age length of service for teachers and education officers across the Federation was approved by the past administration of President Muhammadu Buhari for immediate implementation. Honorable Idris added that special rural posting allowance and other items were also introduced in order to encourage Nigerians to take up teaching as profession. The retirement age length of service was raised to 65 and 40 years respectively. He further added that as at July 2023, only 15 states in the Federation have commenced implementation of the new retirement age length of service for teachers. Unfortunately, Niger State is not one of the 15. The lawmaker therefore stressed that it would be fair on teachers in Niger State to be left behind while their colleagues benefit from this policy. Similarly, the State House of Assembly has moved a motion as a matter of urgent public importance calling on the executive arm of government to urgently intervene in the security crisis at Basa, Alawa, and other communities in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The urgent matter of public importance was moved by member representing Shiroro constituency, Honorable Andrew Doma, who disclosed that these communities were attacked by bandits and kidnappers on the 14th of February 2024, killing and maiming their victims, burning houses, killing women, children, looting and carting away farm produce, threatening to revisit the communities again. Honorable Andrew Doma therefore called for the state government intervention in securing the lives and property of inhabitants of the area. All of the stories were filed in by the House of Assembly correspondent for Lina TV, Harajana Umar Ragada. A Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmed Gumi on Tuesday sought government's permission to approach and have talks with bandits who abducted about 287 school children from Kuriga Government Secondary and LEA primary schools in Chikom local government area of the state. The Islamic cleric insisted that dialogue was the way to go, calling on President Bola Tinubu to take a different approach from his predecessor Muhammad Buhari, who rejected dialogue. It could be recalled that bandits invaded Kuriga area of the Chikom local government area of Kaduna State, shooting at their victims before taking away at least 280 of the pupils and teachers from both schools last week. The incident occurred barely 24 hours after insurgents abducted 200 internally displaced women in Borno State. The women were kidnapped in Ngala, the headquarters of Gomboro Ngala in Borno State, while fetching firewood in the bush. Bandits invaded Goningora in the same Chikom local government area, prompting residents to barricade the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway in protest against the abduction of an unspecified number of people in the area. Meanwhile, the government of the affected state has refused to dialogue with the bandits to release the school children and has also refuted claims that it had hired a private negotiator to facilitate the release of the victims. However, reacting to the development, Gumi said in a statement, the government's stand of no negotiation with the bandits is an unfortunate position. My advice is that the government should dialogue with the bandits not only for these Kuriga school children's abduction but all cases. Edo State House of Assembly has directed that impeachment notice served on the state deputy governor Philip Shaibu be published in national dailies. This followed the alleged refusal of the Deputy Governor to acknowledge the notice served on him by the House last week. Last Wednesday, the lawmakers commenced impeachment proceedings against Shuaibu, accusing him of perjury and leaking of government secrets. The impeachment notice is believed to be the latest development in the rifts between Shuaibu and his principal governor, Godwin Obaseki. The House took the decision to serve the notice on resumption of plenary on Monday, where the Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Agekbaku, alleged that Shuaibu had rejected the impeachment notice served on him by the House. He then directed the clerk of the House, Yahaya Omogbe, to publish the notice in the Nigerian Observer newspaper and other national dailies. Sokoto state government has earmarked 6.7 billion naira for the feeding of poor and underprivileged persons in the state during the 30-day Ramadan fast. Governor Ahmed Aliyu disclosed it during the flag-off of the distribution of grains to 18,400 orphans and destitute across the state at the state government house. He noted that the underprivileged persons would be fed at the 305 Ramadan feeding centers created by the state. Given the breakdown of the expenditure, the governor said 1.2 billion naira was allocated to 244 wards feeding centers, while 797.9 million naira was allocated to the existing 335 feeding centers across the state. In a related development, the governor of Jigawa State, Umar Namadi, approved the reduction of working hours in the state by 2 hours in view of the Ramadan fast. The decision was disclosed in a statement on Tuesday by the State Head of Service, Alhaji Muhammad Dangarchiri. And that's the much we can take on Lina TV News 247. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, and you can visit our website on www.linatv.com.ng. Thanks for joining us.